Running never did much good. Hiding doesn't last forever. You can't run faster when it's you you're running from. So you throw your hands up like doves to the setting sun. Somewhere, John, the stars are falling like jewels upon a thin black veil. You'll find the mysteries enthralling. 5 seconds seems like 5 billion years. 10,000 galaxies away, yet still so near.
Welcome to Karen Holton's podcast. Karen permanently lost 178 pounds and found happiness and success by following her own advice. She has now developed that advice into the quantum health transformation. Heal, evolve, and thrive. Karen's website offers a free webinar workshop series, and you'll also find tools, methods, and practices to assist you to become the change you want to see in the world. She believes that we are all connected. Heal the planet by healing yourself. Connect with Karen at her website, KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com, and through Facebook at Facebook.com/Quantum Health Transformation. Now for the podcast.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Quantum Health Transformation 2.0. So today we are going to consider Step 8, Grounding and Birth of New Core Belief Systems. We're working our way up the ladder, so we're going to be doing the numbers in reverse order, and we're following along basically the color of each chakra, because each of these lessons also deals with the energy from each of those chakras. Okay, so let's just dive right in here. Obviously, I'm Karen Holton with Vancouver Island Alternative Lifestyle Services. That's the name of my company. And welcome to Quantum Health Transformation. Okay, so we're going to get back into grounding. So there's, I've split it up into 3 basic different categories for grounding: spiritual grounding, environmental grounding, and personal grounding. And for those folks of you at home that are watching this on YouTube or on my website, please, if you haven't already done so, go to YouTube or my YouTube channel or my website, and please do watch the Step 8 primer. The primer's a slideshow, and it's got kind of all the facts and all the details, and then we kind of bring it into this format and we flesh it out a little bit. So if you haven't done that, stop the show. Go back and do that. Only take you maybe 15-20 minutes at the most. Come back, resume, and you get a lot more out of the program. So spiritual grounding includes gratitude and appreciation, accepting unconditional love from people and from other living things. Environmental grounding includes spending time outdoors in nature and the use of orgone generators, which are also called Orgonite, indoors. And personal grounding, which includes self-grooming, stretching, and posture. So 1, 2, and 3 dimensions is all to do with this really slowed down so that energy can come into form and pretend that this is all there is, and to explore the planet and explore our lives. So that also means that when we can hold more frequency, or the higher our personal frequency is, which is what this program is all about, the faster we're vibrating, and essentially what happens is we're able to mediate that area between physicality and energetic reality. And in the energetic reality, there is far more. I have to quote Shakespeare and say, there are more things on heaven and earth that are in your paradigm or that you ever imagined in your paradigm. That's Shakespeare, more or less. So then I also want to bring you back to another point, and this is quantifiable, qualifiable, whatever, through quantum physics. You can do some research. I don't have the correct spelling of his name, but it's something like Harriman. Who knows? Does anyone else know who this is? Oh, you know what? I'm going to add it as a subtitle on the video because Harriman, Nassim Harriman, something like that. Anyway, he does a lot of talks on Planck level and on quantum physics. Really helps you to get an understanding of what the implications are of this and how magical our reality is, because magic simply is science. They're the same thing. So now I want you to go down to what they call 0 point. 0 point, everything has a 0 point. If you take a magnifying or a microscope and you look at anything, my pen, my clipboard, this board, my body, a piece of my body, and you look smaller, 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 smaller. Sounds a lot like the show or the book Horton Hears a Who. And you go smaller and smaller and smaller, and you reduce it to the size, and this is just you reduce it to the size of an atom, and then you reduce it 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, which ultimately would be to the negative 33. You're at the Planck level, you're at the 0 point level, and guess what they see through their microscopes at that point? They see nothing but wavicles. Okay, I got screwed up on my spelling. Wavicles is a new word that they had to invent because what they found was undifferentiated waves and particles. A wave is an energy measurement, and a particle is a matter or a thing, a measurement of a thing. And there is neither particles nor waves at that level. There are only wavicles, which is undifferentiated, where the energy is coming into manifestation. And that is the gift that humanity has, is we can pull that energy and we can manifest, which means that we're scientists and we're wizards and we're powerful beyond measure. And that's why I really wanted to bring this out before we get into the grounding, because I wanted you to really see how we truly are made of energy. But our physicality, our eyes only pick up certain short wavelengths of light. Our ears only pick up certain very limited wavelength of sounds. Even dogs can hear a lot more than what we can hear. Cats can see more light spectrum than what we can. But we're limited within the body, which is our physical insulation suit that our energy is harnessed into and moves around. So that is just a brief lesson, and please Google anything I tell you that you're not sure about. I am not the grand poobah of anything. I am just giving you my understanding of reality and letting you know how I play with reality, and basically that's what that's about. So now we're going to move into the grounding, and we're going to start with spiritual grounding. And since mood affects our frequency or our energy, how do you pivot from feeling negative to feeling positive? What are some of the tools you use so that you can lift up your own mood, so that you can feel a little bit better? And what that actually does and is measurable is it raises your frequency and your vibration rate.
I usually do the treat system, where if I feel like an adult that day, and that's doing anything, doing housework, budgeting, going to the doctors, being on time for appointments, any of those big, scary adult situations that most of us don't know whether or not what our grounding are, is you say, okay, so if I can get through this, then I can have hot chocolate, or I can have dessert after dinner because I'm an adult and I did stuff today.
You get rewarded. And does that put a happy thought in your mind?
Yeah.
And does that help you feel better?
Oh yeah, it's an end goal.
An end goal. Wonderful, wonderful. Anybody else? Okay, I have here, what I do is I can change my perspective. So I can take a look at something, and there's a little saying that says, 2 men looked out from prison bars. One saw mud and the other saw stars. And it's absolutely true. It's all happening all around us. All the wonderful things, all the things that make me happy, make me feel good, is all happening. And yeah, there's some crap happening too. But I can choose what I want to focus on because I can choose how I want to feel. So that little tool helps me have a little rudder so that I can actually manage my own mood, which is super important for self-soothing and self-regulation, which is a part of growing up.
I find for myself it's music.
Music, wonderful, wonderful. Just before we started filming, I was dancing to a little reggae music because it helped me feel better. Fabulous. Another thing you can do is humor. So I develop a sense of humor. If I'm really getting down about something, I'll exaggerate it, make it worse and worse and worse in my mind's eye till it's so laughable I'm laughing my head off. And then I go, oh, wait a minute, what am I worried about? The chances of all that happening are, because I have a nubby ball, those that have studied the step 9 know how the nubby ball works. I know that, I have all kinds of endless possibilities. That works for me. Sometimes I just look for something new, something I haven't noticed before. Oh, the neighbors, or fresh fallen snow, or the neighbors have put up the Christmas lights or something like that. Makes me feel good. And the point is it works like a spiral. So you start with just a little something. It won't make all your troubles go away, but what it will is pretty soon you start to attract other things. You start to see other things, and it just works until you're feeling good again. And that's just such a wonderful, wonderful skill. And another one I use from time to time is the one that I use for PTSD, where when I'm triggered, I look for, anyone can help me out if you know the number. It depends on the recipe you're following, but I might want to look for 5 things that I just want to focus on right now. Oh, lovely picture of my son, a friend of mine, a soft pillow, a funny little cat, and an interesting ornament. And then I might go to, what are 3 things I hear right now? Oh, the fridge is humming. Oh, that's a good thing because I've got lots of good food in there. I can't wait to make good stuff to eat. I hear birds outside. Aw, aren't they cute? You know what I'm saying? And so we literally distract ourselves
or taking personal moments.
Pardon?
Taking personal moments.
And what would that look like for you?
Taking a personal moment is just you stop, take a deep breath, and just take the time to appreciate something for a moment to give you a positive feeling.
Exactly. And so you added something vital into the mix, and that is the breathing. Absolutely. So just as a little recap, again, this is a building exercise. So this is something where we just pull ourselves out of the muck and the quagmire or the depression, just enough to get a little bit of appreciation for something. So I've got, start where you are now. Think of and look around for things to appreciate. If you're in a negative mood, empty your mind to find a neutral space. I know that's not always super easy, but practice, it is surprising how you're able to empty. Just put all the crap aside and form a bit of a neutral space. Then look for things to appreciate from your immediate surroundings. If your circumstances are really wretched, just go outside and look at the sky. And even if it's cloudy, you know on the other side of that cloud, the sun is shining or the stars are out, and it's beautiful and everything's going to be okay. Now appreciate that even when we can't see the sun and stars, they are always there on the other side of the gloom. And so from this point, consider pleasant things, and soon you will find something to appreciate and be grateful for. And that moves us into the whole thing of gratitude. So I want to put out to the group, what do you feel is the difference between gratitude and appreciation? I'll give you my interpretation while you're thinking about it. For me, gratitude is a feeling rather than a thought. Just, so grateful. Appreciation is the thought about something that I'm grateful for. So, I really appreciate that. And now I'm going to appreciate it by going, oh, wasn't that nice? They went out and they made me a nice handmade Christmas card. It's beautiful. It means 10 times more than a store-bought one from Costco, which is what I gave them. But we won't talk about that. So appreciation leads to gratitude, which leads to more appreciation. So this is another building skill, right? So it helps us get our mood straightened out. And I don't know about you, but when I get my mood straightened out, boy, my whole life just kind of starts falling into sync, and it's so much better. Does anyone else have something they want to throw out there? Okay, we'll move on. Now we're going to move into physical benefits. Hugging. How and why is hugging good for your health? Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
I think it's because it's part of our animal instincts.
We're
right?
a grooming species.
Because if you think about cats, right, what do cats do? They come up to you, they start licking your face, start licking your hands. They're trying to establish that you are part of their tribe. And hugging is kind of like, hey, you're part of our tribe, because hugging is a very personal thing too.
It's also a way to match your frequencies to a higher one.
Absolutely. So when we hug, we generally feel good about that person, because I don't want to hug someone I'm not crazy about or I'm not sure of yet, right? It's just my personal instincts. And so when we hug, we're feeling loving feelings towards that person. And often, if we've had a dispute with someone, it's nice to hug after, because it just puts you back in that spot, and you actually do. You sync heart fields, absolutely.
There's also a, I don't know what it is, but there's an actual physical level where you actually change your physical, I don't know what it's called.
Yeah,
it's called retrovirus.
Yeah,
what we basically do is we download information on a physical level through pheromones, through bits of our skin floating around, our energies. Absolutely, very, very good point.
Yeah. More on that, they sync up your heartbeat if you actually like the person, if you actually have a deeper connection with that person, everything, yeah.
And I want to tell you about a little YouTube video I saw where the parents gave natural childbirth and the baby was dead. And I'm going to cry telling the story because it's just so beautiful. The mother asked to hold the baby and she put it on her heart chakra, heart to heart. And the father climbed into bed, took off his clothes, they were all naked, and went on the other side of the baby, heart to heart. Sorry, it just gets to me. And they didn't expect the baby to live, but they wanted their baby to know before its soul left that it was loved. And an impossible amount of time went by, like 15 or 20 minutes, and the baby woke up. The baby came back to life. And so I'm a firm believer, if we could just all get together and share our energy and have a group hug, and we can heal each other. It's not that hard. We're running to the doctor, we're taking the pills, we're having all these problems, and maybe what we really need is a hug. Sorry, I'm emotional about it. I have a tissue here. I knew this might happen. But if I stopped filming every time I cry, I would never ever produce anything. So y'all have to put up with a few tears. So now we're going to go into something that I think you guys are going to find fun to discuss, and that is, can love and healing travel long distances through time and space without any physical contact, and how?
I think if you have a good solid foundation, right? So if the whole travel long distance, I always think of like if your family members or anybody that you have a general love for are like far away, but you want to know that they're on the same energy level. I always think that everything starts with a good foundation. Is you have to talk a lot more, and you actually have to visit more often than not. So if that's messaging or if that's calling, and it's something personal that you can sync your levels up.
Absolutely. Have you ever had a friend that was your good friend, and for whatever reasons you don't see him for 3 years or 5 years, and you meet each other again, and it's like no time has, you just pick up for where you left off, and isn't that beautiful? So there is no separation, and in truth, love travels on all the dimensional realities. So love is like a solvent. So love, just the feeling of, or the emotion of love, it radiates out. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, I don't know, 10 gazillions level, whatever you want to, however you want to slice it. Love travels. and they've done experiments. This is really a neat kind of documentary. I haven't posted it because I don't know the source and I want to give credit to the source, but maybe I'll post it anyway. They did all these experiments, and they did one where they had a group of people, and they showed a slide picture of somebody and all the people, and they had the person whose picture of it on the other side of the United States. They were in, in isolated areas. They had some kind of sound isolation so that the room was protected. And they made sure they were on the right sync to the right time. And the room, they started to just imagine in their minds and have the willingness to want to send healing energy to this other person. Now, you've probably all heard similar stories with prayer. And it doesn't matter what religion, it's the same thing. And I think what we need to accept is that there is no separation between spirituality and science. Science is spirituality, spirituality is science. And so what happened is they had this person hooked up like electrocardiogram, whatever, different instruments for measuring their energy. And at the very moment that the group sent their love to that person's heart gave a little extra beat and started getting stronger and stronger, and that person started to heal. Now, I know on YouTube you can watch all kinds of videos of shamanic healing. I myself just this year had my alien implant removal process, and the fellow who actually did it, he did it remotely. He was in California, and I was on Vancouver Island, and I was completely aware of the work that he was doing on me, and he's just absolute lovely healer. Please watch my podcast on my alien implant removal process if you want more information about that. During times of isolation, because there's times where we all feel isolated and sometimes we're physically isolated, sometimes we have illnesses that keep us in the house for whatever reason. Many have benefited greatly from accepting unconditional love from strangers who sometimes live a long ways away, even through the internet. So when you've got people who care about you, even on the other side of the world, it still has an effect on you, because that travels where it's not limited by physicality. And there are so many psychics and healers who send out their daily love. And even in periods of time, for me, I would go online and I would just accept their love. You don't have to be good. You don't have to be special. You don't have to do anything, but you do have to make the decision to be open to receiving love. That's all you have to do, is to be open to receiving love. And most of us don't think we're good enough. We don't think we're worthy. We don't think that we're special enough. We think that's meant for someone else. But it's meant for each and every one of us. There are, some even offer a daily transformational email message. I really like Mike Dooley, and he has the messages from the universe. And every day I get a message telling me, this is the universe, you're awesome, you're doing great, and other such inspiring information. And I fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. I go, oh, thank you, universe, yes, let's have a good day. I use it. That's leverage, right? So their positive messages influence, and the influence travels the fourth, fifth dimensions of our world, so time and space does not hinder the unconditional love they project. And this is another example of the Planck level. That's where all this stuff travels. You know, it's really funny, I watch scientists go, oh, well, we don't know what dark matter is, and we don't know what dark space is. My interpretation is a lot more fun than theirs. My interpretation is, that's where God hides all the wiring. We're all connected, and it's got to go someplace. And just because we don't see it and we don't detect it doesn't mean that it isn't all there. We are connected. So, are we ready to move on to environmental grounding? Okay. Has anyone ever heard of the term earthing? Okay, earthing is something, I actually have a book about it. It's about grounding yourself, your actual frequency of your body, grounding it or having it match the same frequency as the earth. And you can spend a fortune buying gadgets on the internet that will help you to ground yourself. But the reality of it is, and this is the point we're going to discuss, is which do you think is better? Hooking up to a device that grounds you at the right, correct, exact scientific frequency that the company feels is best for you, or to get outside and to actually be make contact with the earth outside of a building? Which do you think is better?
Outside.
Outside.
Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you something. You'll hear, oh, you know, you can't ground properly with your shoes on, and you have to have bare feet. And yeah, right, like in Alberta in the wintertime, not going to happen. The truth of the matter is, no. What we believe is what limits us. When we believe we're outside and we're inhaling the beautiful air and we're looking at the sky and our feet are on the ground, we are absolutely grounding and connected, no doubt about it. And you don't need special equipment. It's absolutely free, but you do need to haul your butt out the door. And that can be a big challenge for all of us from time to time. So I'm going to say nothing will make you feel better and more grounded than being out of doors. Physical contact with earth, grass, water, sand, etc. restores the natural frequency of our bodies. The resonant frequency of a human being is about 70 megahertz when insulated, but matches the resonant frequency of the earth, which is only 7 to 12 megahertz when we make physical contact with it. Technology unnaturally raises our resonant frequency to levels that we're not able to cope with. And only by dropping to a level which matches the earth do we begin to heal and recover. So get outside and make contact as often as you can. I also want to bring this into why I'm so gung-ho on Orgonite. Does anybody here know how Orgonite works? Or want to say anything about Orgonite? Kate, you can throw something in a few minutes. I'll just start to get the ball rolling here. Okay. So we have never, ever had the level of technology we have right now. Our bodies take thousands of years to adjust to new things, new foods, new frequencies, new climates. This is not something you can force in a 50-year period. However, that's what we've done. And the earth actually is Orgonite. What is Orgonite? Orgonite is crystals under pressure with enough metal to, enough organic and non-organic substances that actually cause the crystals to be under pressure. They then become polarized. It's called a piezoelectric effect. From there, they emit a frequency, and that frequency drives all health and everything on this planet. And so it affects the trees, and the trees have a frequency. It affects us and our bodies, and we have a frequency. It affects all animals, all life, even non-living things like stones and rocks and dirt and ice. It affects everything. And what happened was our economic system, the construct we live in, decided that they wanted the Earth's frequency was interfering with the signals for our Wi-Fi and our cell phones and such. And so their idea was to place these huge, powerful stations all over the Earth that raise the Earth, that basically drowns out the Earth's frequency. So that now everything is resonating on this artificial and not healthy frequency. And so, I don't know if you've noticed, but they go, oh, it's global warming, it's climate change. Come on, the planet's fallen apart. Look at the sinkholes and the earthquakes and all of this that's going on. What is going on is the Earth is reacting to an artificially created frequency that's not natural to it. And so, of course, we're having problems. And with all the amazing advancements in science, how many of you do you know people who are dying of cancer, heart attacks? People are unhealthy. People are being diagnosed with autism, schizophrenia, bipolar. You're telling me this world is better because of our modern construct? No, it's going to hell in a handbag, but that's another video. So yeah, I'm getting all excited here, but I just want to tell you this is really important stuff. So what do we do about it? Okay, this is where Orgonite comes in. Orgonite doesn't cure the problem, but I'll tell you what it can do, which is why I'm so excited about it. This here is a large, all of these that I'm going to show you are available on my website. This is a large piece of Orgonite. It's pretty heavy, and it has in the center a large quartz crystal that's been wrapped with copper wire. It is got all kinds of metal shavings and other crystals in here, and all different kinds of metals. Let's see what kind of metals are in here. Silver, bronze, black steel, copper, and aluminum. And the crystals in here are clear quartz, azurite, unakite, olivine, emerald, and sodalite. So what happens is the main driver in this is the quartz. And it's oscillating and it's vibrating because the resin, when it shrinks, this is not plastic, this is an organic resin. When it shrinks, it's putting pressure on all the crystals inside. It's waking up all these other crystals who are also under pressure, and a lot of other crystals are also quartz, like for instance, amethyst is also a quartz. And so this is rocking away here on levels that we can't see, and we can't smell it, and we can't feel it, and we can't hear it. But it doesn't mean it's not working, it's working like crazy. And the pyramid shape sucks sort of in and blows out the top. And so what's happening, there I'm hitting all of you with my ray gun here. What's happening is a super healing frequency. So this particular combination helps people with their physical health and their spiritual health. It's just absolutely, absolutely beautiful and so functional. So what it's doing is, and what all my organites are doing, is they're converting, they're transmuting that not very healthy frequency from my cell phone and from my Wi-Fi and from my smart meters. But a lot of people don't realize that everything, even with a cord, this lamp over here, which is corded, they all emit EMF frequency. And then those of you who are in touch with the metaphysical, there are also energies that don't have your best interests at heart, and there are energies that do. And I'll give you an example as an angel, as a primary example. So Orgonite not only is clearing and transmuting the EMF, this particular one is just pure quartz. And it's not only beautiful, but it's a super cleansing piece of Orgonite. So if I put this near my crystals, or if I put this near my other Orgonites, or I put this just, near my Uncle Sam, who I don't particularly care for, it's going to have a cleansing effect. It actually affects mood because it's frequency. It affects mood. It affects the health of your plants. This is a very, very beautiful, purifying piece of Orgonite. This one's tourmaline, black tourmaline, which is fantastic, very piezoelectric as well, and it is under pressure with the quartz. And so what this is doing, this is purifying as well. So these are two different kinds of purification. Google black tourmaline, Google quartz. Quartz resonates, frequency is 786,000 kilohertz. Of course, you're not going to hear it, but it's doing something, that's for sure. So that was my large, two mediums, and then this is a small one, and this one here has quartz in it, but it's also got lapis lazuli, so I really like this one. Helps free up people's throat chakras, and can also double for third eye. So every piece of Orgonite that you bring into your home is going to have a beneficial effect, and there is no negative consequences. Now, if you're very sensitive to energy, you might pick one up and you might feel a little bit woozy or a little bit nauseous or a little bit kind of dull, headachy. What it's doing is it's causing you to detoxify. And so you're not ready for that piece. You might want to shift down to something a little smaller. So that's the basic. I have all kinds of Orgonite. I'm wearing an Orgonite pendant. This one's very powerful. It's got a lot of amethyst in the back. And it's got chakra symbology, which is, sacred geometry. I was going to say sacred geology. All geology is sacred. Sacred geometry. What that does is it actually triggers something in your conscious and subconscious mind that knows that these are math symbols. And again, it just lets us know that everything is okay. So Orgonite, when it's within a range of negative energy, it efficiently and continuously transforms it into positive energy as it's being transmitted. So what's really cool about it is it basically turns everything in your home that's producing unhealthy energy, it then converts it into something healthy. So the more unhealthy energy it has, the more it converts into healthy energy, and you're surrounding yourself with this amazing energy. Why not take advantage of it? I have been telling people about Orgonite now for about 5 years, and finally people are listening. The people that bring Orgonite into their homes, especially my Orgonite, and sorry, I know I'm over the 10 minutes, just tell you quickly how my Orgonite is slightly different than everyone else's, even though it may appear, certain pieces may appear the same as other pieces for sale on the internet or in gift stores. I do a quantum entanglement process where I draw from all different kinds of spiritual belief systems, and I actually do a grid quantum entanglement process on them so that they will go out and actually be programmed to work to the highest good of the receiver. But they've also been entangled with each other, so now, no matter where they end up in the world, on the fourth, fifth, and higher dimensions, they're still entangled. So they're still kind of like keeping track of each other and helping each other to perform better. And so I'm really excited about that. And I've had just some amazing, amazing stories from people telling me what's happened since they got my Orgonite. Okay, so that's how you can physically ground. Does anyone have anything they want to say about it before I move on? Well covered, right? Okay, now we're going to talk about personal grounding. So I'm going to ask you, what do self-grooming, stretching, and posture have to do with energy?
I think the stretching and I think all these, the self-grooming, the stretching, and the posture, I think they all help balance out your energy.
They clear blockages and allow free flow.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is just a picture of the chakras. So we have, we actually have 9 chakras. We have the 7 that we actually have a lot more than that, but it's a long story. But we have 9 primary chakras. We have a black one below and a white one above. So we have 9 primary chakras. And these are gates. They're just energy gates. And so you want to keep your energy gates open so your energy is flowing. And it's just like water. Water can become stagnant and yucky if it's just left sitting too long. It needs to move. And the same thing is true for us. And we're constantly exchanging on that Planck level, that 0 point level. And that's where we get a lot of our inspiration and our help from our spirit guides. So the chakras are gates, whereas the meridians are actually the channels. And so if you look at a chart that's for acupuncture, and you'll see all these little acupuncture points and all these lines that connect them in specific patterns, those are your meridians. And if your chakras are all open, your meridians flow. So to me, the quickest way to wellness, is to open up those gates, and then you don't have to worry so much about the meridians. But self-grooming, stretching, and posture all unblock our energy or unlock our energy pathways. And that's why it's really important to take a look at that. And then the other thing I want to say is, for those of you who haven't, please Google the Heart Math Institute. I believe it's .org. And they have done all kinds of tests, and they have found that this chakra system, the meridian system, is also a part of a torus field, which is produced by our heart, which is like a giant donut. So if you're looking at me right now from head to toe, this donut is actually larger than I am. So the higher your frequency, the bigger your donut is. And so we have like a Venn diagram overlap. Your donut and my donut, your donut and my donut. That's where you get a lot of your spidey senses from, and your intuition and so much of communication, real communication, that's not on a verbal level. And so my question was, and I'll probably just answer it, how does doing these practices benefit others who do not? So if we're stretching, if we are paying attention to our posture, if we're self-grooming, that makes this donut of energy much bigger and more radiant and more powerful. So what happens when you go out on a date and you feel like $1 million and you walk down the street and you see postman and you go, hey, yo, postman, and you're having a great day? What happens? Generally, people, they lighten. They smile, they're happy, they feel better, and they go off and they affect other people. Oh yeah, you'll get the odd person who's just going to poop all over your mood, and that happens too. But again, generally that will just go away and you'll bring in good things. You find a good parking spot, you have a great day. Conversely, you have a really crappy day, you're in a really bad mood, maybe a day I'm feeling real sorry for myself and I'm mad at everybody, and I go out into the world and I pass that on to everybody. So you see, by taking responsibility for and caring for our physical temple, we're not just improving our own health, we are actually changing the world itty bitty bit at a time. And when enough people start doing this, we're going to have a happier society. And so this is foundational. Absolutely foundational for improving the health of the body, the mind, and the soul. We're a grooming species, and we require daily massage and movement of the body in order to clear our energy pathways, align our chakras, and strengthen our flow of energy, which is called chi, prana, 0 point, plank level, or even Holy Spirit. Self-massage is also very soothing to your body and your mind, and it's a great way to expand self-love and healing. A lot of us don't know how to love ourselves, and one way to start is to do some self-massage. And in the primer, there's instructions on how to do that in more detail. But just the fact of being gentle and physical on your own body. It also clears off, you've heard of your aura. It clears off all that crap that can cling to your aura. It is absolutely wonderful. And it teaches you to take that moment to yourself. Get in touch with your own body. Put you back, your mind space back within the temple body again. And stretching unblocks the energy centers and stimulates circulation while preparing the body for movement. Techniques like yoga, tai chi, and qigong seem to work best, but any stretching is better than no stretching as long as it does not cause pain. So when you're stretching, go for it. But if it hurts or feels uncomfortable, stop. That means you're not doing it right, or you're not ready for that type of movement. Okay, I got a little demonstration here on posture. Posture is important for health. When we carry our bodies physically in alignment, our energy does not get pinched off and it flows freely. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to turn sideways and just take a look at the alignment of my spine here with my hair. Okay, I've had lots and lots of posture problems in my life, and if I just stand here and relax and don't think about it, you can see I kind of sway back, my neck kind of comes forward. So in the primer, I tell you to just do one thing. Practice raising your sternum. So I'm going to show you what happens to me when I raise my sternum. Okay, so I'm going from just relaxing, passive, I'm now raising my sternum. Do you see the difference in my posture? Mm-hmm. A profound difference in my posture. And so what I do is when I'm going for a walk or when I'm doing something, I probably should do it when I'm doing my videos, is I just raise my sternum. And it's surprising how it gets to be a habit. And what that does is it opens up your yellow or your solar plexus chakra. That is so powerful. A lot of people think that that basically has to do with anger and negative emotions. No, it doesn't. And besides, you want to clear that out of there, you raise your chakra. It opens, the rib cage opens up, cling, 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 cling. It's like a chiropractic adjustment for your chakras and your meridians. And you just get in the habit of doing it. And another thing that happens is you feel more confident. You do, and you carry yourself better, and suddenly people are a little nicer to you, and they're a little bit take notice of you more. Why? Because you've got something going on. They can't put their finger on it, but it's something. It's because you're glowing like crazy. So, when we take time to ground, stretch, and groom, we clear and line up our chakras, which strengthens our heart torus field. A vibrant heart torus field improves our health and brings us into alignment with our desires for a more comfortable existence. It is at the heart of manifesting that which we desire. So as we hold more frequency, guess what happens? Our manifesting is quicker. Things we need, things we want, things we desire start happening. Why? Because we're energetically producing the vibrant energy that is then making the connections that is drawing and bringing into our lives. So, a lot of people, they'll practice, visualizing or focusing on the thing they want, but it doesn't occur to them to straighten up their body and improve their energy so that they can pull that in. Our heart torus field radiates outward for at least 10 feet, more for of higher frequency, in our third dimensional reality, and further on the fourth and fifth dimensional levels where we are all connected. Heal yourself and you literally heal the world. Again, please go to the Heart Math Institute and keep in mind that mood is absolutely contagious. Eckhart Tolle talks a lot about the pain body. This is the other side of the coin. This is the other thing that we can do. Okay, so let's finish up with a small discussion about new core beliefs. I didn't get into it too much because at this point we're just figuring out what our core beliefs are. Does anyone wish to share some of their process? Has anyone here taken a new belief and actually started planting it into their life?
The whole stress thing of I will not get stressed about some social aspects, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I get stressed not knowing about who's going to be there for anything, doctor's appointments, grocery stores,
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say to myself, I'm not going to be stressed about this. I'm actually going to go in there calmly. I know what to do. I have a plan. I have a list.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how anybody turns around their energy of having a negative experience and then turning it around into a nicer experience.
Sounds a little bit like you've also gone from I can't take care of myself, meaning I don't know what's going to happen,
Yeah.
to I can take care of myself and whatever happens, I'll deal with it.
Exactly.
So that's an awesome example.
Another example of a new core belief is also if you don't put in the work to do it, you won't affect the change.
And can you say a little bit more about that?
For example, like say for instance, you have a job that's very difficult, and you're like, I don't know if I can keep doing this job. I don't know if I can do it. But if you just keep showing up and you keep doing it and you keep pushing to the end,
Mm-hmm.
you know, at the end of the day, you go, wow, I didn't think I was going to get through the day,
Mm-hmm.
but I managed to do it. Now I'm proud of myself,
Mm-hmm.
and then it makes you feel better, and then you can have new energy towards the next day and have a more positive experience. But you have to believe that, you know, just one step at a time, get through it, and then at the end you're like, I didn't think I could do that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you know, that is really, really wise. A lot of people really miss that in life. I use the analogy of a piano player. My brother-in-law is as you know, is a piano player, but he's a fabulous concert pianist. And when he plays, it's just like, oh my gosh, it's just so amazing, and the level of complexity of the music he can play just blows me away. How anyone could do that? But you know, he started out with one key at a time. D D D D D D D D D D. That's what he did. And how long did he D D D? Long time till he got to where he's at now. And so in the beginning, and this is the same thing with manifesting, you know, we have to actually lie a little bit to ourselves to get us through that part. And it's the spiral again. In the beginning, we don't see any progress. Soon we start seeing progress. But if we don't keep the core belief that this is going to improve, and you know it is, you just have to wait for it to come, then it's not going to take off. And so you, instead of you short-circuiting it, you're supercharging it.
Well, and the thing that makes it a belief system is the fact that you also have to state off other people's beliefs of, oh, that's not going to work out.
Absolutely.
So you not only have to do the hard work for yourself, but you also have to fight off the negative feed from other people.
Don't believe what other people say about you. Absolutely. In fact, from what we know, even so far with this program, how well do we really know people until we've known them for a really long time? It's hard to really know them. So then if we don't really know them, and we're telling them advice on how they should be doing their lives, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But you know inside yourself. So we use an example that I use, and that was patience, where I used to go, I have no patience, and I didn't have any patience. And then I changed it to, I am patient. Yes, I am. And then when I would feel impatient, I would say, I'm patient. And so pretty soon, I started becoming more and more patient. And so at this point, you don't need to worry about how you're going to put new beliefs in. You're just going to start examining your beliefs and seeing which ones might not be serving you so well anymore, and which ones that maybe someone else has that you went, oh my God, I really want that. You know, So like an example would be going from, oh, I can't do public speaking, I'm no good at it, to going, wow, my cousin's a great public speaker, I want to be like her, I'm going to try, I'm going to make it, right? So it's just finding out what it is we want. And most of us don't know what we want because we don't spend the time thinking about it. Just be aware of what you want. So frequently meditate on the qualities you wish to acquire. For me, it was patience. For you, it was you had to think about, you can do this, and you're going to get stronger and you're going to get better at it. And do that as we're doing our grounding exercises. So while we're doing our grounding exercises, whether we're outdoors, whether we're spending some time on a nice cup of tea and a piece of Orgonite, whatever we're doing to ground, if we're thinking of things to be grateful for, all of those things.
That personal moment.
That personal moment that you were talking about, taking that personal moment. Absolutely, Devin. Fantastic. Really good suggestion. And the other thing is prayer. Like a lot of people now are kind of disenchanted with religion, or have left religion, or don't identify with their religion. They don't even know who to pray to if they wanted to pray. But the beauty of it is you can call it anything you want. In AA, they call God good orderly direction. You can pray to anything. You just need to pray. It's about the act of sending out the heartfelt desire, which in Abraham Hicks's language would be sending out the desire so that it can be matched by the frequency of the universe. It's really that simple. So practice, practice, practice. And once we get to the point where we start to accept our whole selves, now we get to work on loving ourselves unconditionally. So think of yourself as a younger, less experienced being in need of guidance. Now develop an internal parent who can guide the younger version of you. I'll give you an example. I used to have this critical voice. How am I supposed to have any confidence? This critical voice is telling me I'm stupid, or I'm looking awkward, or people are looking at me, or God knows what. Shut up. Okay, I replaced that. Now what I have is I think of myself as a younger sibling. And I go, aw, what does my younger sibling need here? And then inside, I'm the parent. I go, oh, I'm the parent. I'm my own parent. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I have good quality food in the house so that when I get hungry, I can just go and eat. I'm going to make sure. And you start to step up as your own parent, which is really another way of saying you start to work on your own internal sources of direction and stop looking out to external, other people to tell you how to act, what to do. Other experts tell you what to do, how to act, how to be this, how to be that. Even me, don't listen to me. Well, listen to me, but then take what you want from this and throw the rest away, because you're a unique being. So this requires you to practice self-love and discipline. Think about what a good parent might be like and remain non-judgmental and very patient with yourself. And practice, practice, practice. It feels really awkward at first and even a little bit silly, but eventually it becomes automatic. And I'm not kidding you guys. You would not believe my go-to in my mind is no longer that wah, wah, wah critical voice. My go-to is, good job, Karen. You did your best. I'm really proud of you. I got like my own internal cheerleader and my own internal that says, yeah, you can eat that, but you're going to be sick for 3 days, and I don't think it's a good idea. And you go, yeah, you're right. I've got that happening now, and it's just so fantastic. Okay, we're almost done. Let's just motor through here. The very end of what I want to talk about is affirmations. Do any of you have go-to positive affirmations that you like to use?
When I do yoga, I do Shakti flow. So during one of the things is you meditate for 8 minutes, right? And one of them is you're supposed to say prayer. So I usually say, I am good, I am great, and I can get through this. Because that's the whole thing is. You can get through 10 seconds of your life. You can get through a minute of your life as long as you have a clear goal in your mind.
Yep, and that's tied in a little bit with delayed gratification sometimes. I have a few of my favorites up here. I've got, I love and accept myself unconditionally right now. Just drop the shit. I'm loving myself. Yeah, warts, bumps and all. I'm loving it, and I'm decided I'm going to love myself because I want to, and it makes me feel good, and I feel healthy. This is not about narcissism. If you need to love yourself before you can love anyone else. Another one, I freely forgive myself and all others. I let go of the past. You know, we keep going back and digging up bones, you know. We don't need to do that. We just forgive everybody. It's like a magic wand. Just forgive them. Never mind what they done to you. Forgive them. Move on. Let it go. It's like blowing on the dandelion. Another one. Every day and in every way I am better and better. Every day. In every way I am better and better. So these are really important. These are really important in my life. I have used these. I used to have to drive up Vancouver Island and I'd be in the car for 3 or 4 hours. And I do this. I just keep doing I freely forgive myself and all others, and I let go of the past. I would just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it while I'm driving along. Affirmations. So write out positive affirmations that you like and post them in conspicuous places. Your subconscious will accept them even if you're not actively reading or repeating them to yourself. Just keep them in visual range. And another thing that I did that is so really worked well, I can't emphasize this enough, is to take a minute and just record on your phone or your MP3 player or whatever you've got yourself. Choose your affirmations, say them in your own voice, record them, and then listen to them played back. So you can make a playlist. You can put the headphones on and you're doing the housework and you can hear your voice. And you say it with your voice. It makes it way stronger. So that's what I recommend. So, in conclusion, ground first, then affirm your new core beliefs. Journal your findings. I am not going to push you guys to do your journal, but I'm going to tell you that if you do your journal, you're going to find rewards, not just in right now when you're doing it. Years to come, you're going to look back on your journal and you're going to be you'll be able to say, okay, that's where I was at then, this is where I'm at now, let's see how much progress I've made, let's see how I figured things out. It's going to be pretty exciting. And journaling is also a way to communicate with yourself and to tell you things, make you notice things that maybe you just didn't notice before. Let's go to the website, www.KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com, 2 O's in Holton. You will find blog articles. You will find newsletter articles that are also along with my blog articles. You will also see a whole year of 12 articles written by me as they appeared in Sybil magazine for the Spirit and Soul of Woman. Those are also on my website. Got all kinds of transformational videos. I've got podcasts. I've got my audio podcasts. I've got my Quantum Health Transformation 2.0 videos. Very soon I'm going to be coming out is my interviews with local healers. So I'm just going to start showing you that healers are just ordinary people who have the urge to heal and do, and in so many different ways. Again, this gets back to sharing that energy, that powerful heart torus that we have. We can heal each other, we can heal ourselves, and we can heal this planet. We don't need help. We can do this. I also have services. I have assistance that I can give you along with your journey. I can counsel you via Skype, email, talk on the phone if we don't live nearby. I can give you some advice. I can give you some suggestions. I can tell you what worked for me. And take a look at my services tab. You'll see quite a bit. Products, I have crystals and I have Zendome's Orgonite. I'm having a bit of trouble without web support right now, so I'm having a bit of trouble getting the crystal section of my shop working, but it will sometime down the road get fixed. I also do an energy assessment, so if you're interested in Zendomes and you want to set up your home to be, maximum support, energetic support, emotional support, whatever you get from your Orgonite, you can contact me and I will do an energy assessment and make some recommendations. Or if you're having particular problems, I might make some recommendations. So everything works together to assist you to transform negative energy into positive action, which is why I'm doing this.
Denying only makes you hurt. Denying only makes it worse. Love and surrender seem the fastest way to bring an end to bitter, painful days. Somewhere, John, the stars are falling like jewels upon a thin black veil, and you will thrill to hear your calling. 5 seconds seems like 5 billion years. 10,000 galaxies away, yet still so near.